Okay, well, I'm on holidays, so I'm cranking out a couple of videos here. Uh, this is supposed to be my Huina to Komatsu build. It's been sitting in a box for a while, and I was trying to hide the limit switches and inside the boom, and I was making these little weird holder pieces, which were these, which would sit in sideways and they'd sit in the boom, and it was just getting complicated, far too complicated. I couldn't seem to get the right angle no matter what I was doing, and I kind of gave up on it a little bit. Or I put it in the box at least and figured I'd just worry about it another day. And then I saw a picture. This guy had a custom-made excavator made for him, and in the picture I noticed that they had just put the limit switches on there like that. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. Unfortunately, I had cut holes to try and get the limit switches hidden in there first, and blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of a little Swiss cheesy, but that's okay. And yeah, I'll patch those things up somehow, seal them up one day. But it's a bit of a wiry nightmare at the moment because I was going through, I did a bunch of work on it yesterday, and then I went to hook it up to power all the functions up, and it wouldn't work, and I couldn't figure out why, because my other excavator is wired exactly the same. And so I went on my hike this morning just to get my exercise in, and starting to brainstorm some ideas, and I was like, oh, maybe I just hadn't taken enough wire off of the ends of these little pieces I've got, and thought maybe I wasn't making contact in there enough. So I got back, I stripped a bunch of the ends of the wire off, made nice long ones about that long, popped them in there, tried out 2 functions first. It worked. Thought right on, okay, this is probably gonna be it. And then I went through, stripped all the wires, got them all in there, and off I went. Now I've got functions going for everything. I got rotation, I got boom up down, bucket curl, and then boom out. That motor sounds a little tired because it is. It's making, I don't know if it's actually, if you can see right there, there's the wire. I'm not sure if it's actually maybe shorting out a bit on there, so I got to do something about that. I tried to put some tape on it just to try to shield it. I don't think that really worked. It could be that, or it could just be the motor's kind of burnt out a bit and tired. So I got that making contact there, which is great. Oops, I'm trying to remember what everything does. Okay, so that makes contact there. There's the stick up, switch is off, not straining the motor, which is awesome. And then I go do this bottom one, and watch what happens to the boom. Boom, runs out of lead screw. So I can't remember if I actually taken this apart one time and cut that lead screw a bit short or something, because it's not quite long enough, and that's all the fixed spots that it comes from the factory. So it's not making contact. It goes to about, well, that's where I could feel it touching the screw. I feel like that should be going in a bit longer. So either A, I've got a bucket function one up there or something, or I got a boom one over there. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. So there's that. And then I've got, I'll just get that back on there 1 second. So there's that. That just sometimes gets a little sticky in there, but it's again, so that's good. So I got that, and then I got the bucket curl. Whoops, that's rotation bucket curls, this one, I believe. Yeah. So I got bucket curl there. So it makes contact with my switch there, which is awesome. Super happy about that. And I got another switch buried down there. And it does make contact with it, which is killer, except for it stops a little bit short. So I think what I got to probably end up doing actually is taking this, and I think I might end up putting mounts that switch in here, and then it gets it out of there, and then it'll curl further and get better bucket curl on there. Just stuff I didn't know was gonna really, I didn't really know how it was all gonna work until I started doing it. So it's a wiry mess I gotta clean up. Definitely gotta clean up. There's lots of stuff I gotta do to it, but I just thought it'd be really cool to redo the Huina, because this is actually the first Huina that I ever had, and I wanted to make it into a 0-turn excavator because I think they're cool. But limit switches, right? Everyone's always like, oh, I'll just put the springs on this transmitter instead, and sure, that works totally great. But I wanted limit switches on one. I've always wanted to do an excavator that had limit switches on and everything. My Volvo doesn't. I got to be mindful of where I'm at with it. This is actually the transmitter I'm sharing with my Volvo, so I'll have both of these on there. I've got to mount switches for the boom, so I'm going to be having something come there, and then something's going to sit up on the front there. Then I got this piece in the back, which I've made, which is going to end up going on the back. I'm kind of wondering about weight on this one. I'm starting to kind of think that the only problem with the zero turn is that when I'm digging, I'm going to be pulling this thing forward. I feel like it's going to be tipping. I don't have the tracks on it, which is definitely going to help to kind of distribute a bit of weight out, because they're going to stick out a bit further on the back here, but that depends if it's on the back or not. We'll see. I'm going to probably stuff a bunch of lead in there if I can somehow, maybe put some lead on the bottom, try and compensate for some of that as best I can, and see how that goes. But yeah, so far it's all going good. I got ordered a whole slew of parts, bits and pieces, which I got over here. I got some limit switches. I got some ones with short little switches on them, and I've got ones that got big long armatures on them, which is good. These are the track motors right here, which I put back together, but I do have this one here, which I made a video a long time ago of how my Huina broke already, and that's the track there, but I got a sprocket in here, I believe. Yeah, it should still be in here, hopefully. Oh yeah, it's right there. So I ordered a new one of these guys, which will go in, which is good. And it was that piece that busted off there, that sheared right off. Oops, that sheared off there. So I got a new one of them. I ordered tracks a really long time ago, so I got sets of tracks there. And I'm actually going to throw in a couple of links on it just to take some of the tension off the tracks. That was kind of the issue that I had with mine, was that I was turning it one day in some potting soil, and the force of everything just caused it to snap right off. That spring in there, I'm pretty sure lots of people know that's quite a strong spring. So I think that I'm going to add a bit of track. This is leftover track I had from the brooder conversion I did on my track loader. So I'm going to stick a couple of links on there just to kind of see if that'll take some of the tension off of it. And also I think it'll kind of stretch the tracks a little bit longer, make it look a little cooler. So that'll be good. I'd like to see that. I like the tracks to be stick a little bit wider on this one. And then it's got some attachments in here, which I've never really bothered to use. I honestly don't. They're kind of ugly, but whatever. Some screws down there. All my ESCs in there. Little smoke machine, which I don't know if this thing even works anymore. I'm not sure. I got a spare boom motor in there, which I ordered from Wheelerbox ages back. Yeah, so it's coming along. I'm still definitely something I'm working on. I have to order a slip ring for it, so I got a new one of those. I'm gonna end up having to cut that off and solder some ends onto this thing. I got lots of work on it. I could definitely spend a good day on this thing. If I spent a solid day on this thing, I could probably have it all wired up and functioning by the end of the day. I don't know if I'd have all the wiring cleaned up. Stupid me, I ran some wire for LEDs because I'm gonna hook up the LEDs, these lights on it, on a little coin battery switch. I got lots of these guys here, and then I got, I don't know where those other, I got those little, oh, these guys are coin cell holders, those little awesome little things. So it's just gonna run, sorry, excuse me, sick time here. Gonna run some of this thin little LED wire I got, this stuff. 20 gauge things, and then get some lights on this thing, which will be nice. Yeah, but I gotta have to, I think I have to move that limit switch down in there, and then put that on that side there, which will take care of that. I gotta do some research here and find out if, that's strange to me, because I don't remember doing anything with that, but that shouldn't be, falling off like that. Shouldn't be running out of lead screw. And if I look at the little design of the angle that they had in there. You can see that little, where I've cut it, that little angly piece right in there. I should be matching up with that, and I feel like I'm almost running out in between that angle and that piece in there. So I'll have to figure something out for that. That's kind of weird. But either way, I'll get to the bottom of it. And then this thing's also too, like this machine, I used it for parts and pieces, so I have all these weird little things with it where I've got like this piece is all cut off and busted, so that'd be nice to try and get one of those on there again. I'm missing the other one of these, and I got one of these here, and I'm missing the other one. It's a bit of a Frankenstein thing. I'm missing the glass that goes in there. I don't know, I think I cut it out one day. I was trying to make the door open up on it or something. But yeah, it's getting there. Doing all kinds of fun stuff with it. Yeah, it should be a good fun build to get done. It'd be nice to have something that my kids operate and not be super concerned about them jamming the motors together and stuff like that. It's nice to have the switches on it. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited to get it all done. It'd be fun to have another build. I could probably run an auxiliary channel on this one too, and then I can put my rotation attachment onto it as well, which will be kind of fun. Be good for that purpose as well. But yeah, it's just a big old shitty mess right now. I gotta clean a whole bunch of stuff up with it, but it is running. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to go over with it. I kind of can't really think of anything right now. I tried to design a cab because the Komatsu cab, they arch a little bit on the back, and my printer's all goofy right now, and I just can't figure it out. This was a door I tried to make, and I kind of tried to do a bit of an angle on it. It just ended up looking like absolute shit. I don't know what's going on with my printer. I'm not smart enough to figure it out, apparently. I tried to do a different door on it, but I think it didn't look very nice, so I decided to gun that idea. Yeah, so it's all coming together. Got a little rotation there. I got these. Oops. Gotta watch those things out of the way there, and throw them up and down, and curling. But I think, yeah, moving that limit switch, that switch in there, moving it to there's probably going to be what I have to do. Which would be a pretty straightforward thing. I just gotta pull it all apart again and remount it, and then yeah, figure out this here. I don't know if I cut that short and I put it back together in there, or I'm not sure what's going on there. That's just weird. But yeah, and then once I get it all wired and stuff, it'd be kind of fun to get it to the paint booth and maybe give it a big old coat of paint, as well as do things like maybe. They got all this red wire on here. It's nice that would be black, so we'll see. They gotta have enough room in there to put a Gens Ace 2200 lipo right in there. There's enough room. I can just fit it. I'll have to probably cut those two pieces off, and then I think it'll just slip right in there, which will be good. I was gonna put all my ESCs in there, and it's gonna be a tight fit for sure, but it'll be good. It'll be cool one to do. It's just a different build, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. The old Huina to one day Komatsu conversion, if I get it done ever. All right, thanks for checking it out. Ciao there.